So, if you're also a parent of a toddler or another younger child, then the topic for today's video is going to be around couple dynamics in a young household. Hi everyone, thank you for stopping by and a very warm welcome to my channel. So, if you're here for the very first time, I try to make content regarding my parenting experience of a toddler child, and I also try to share some very basic tips or advice uh, with people who are over the age of 35 and who want to start their parenting journey like they want to become a first time parent. But I'm not a doctor or a health professional. So, for any medical advice or any medical concerns or fertility related concerns, the advice or the guidance from your medical doctor or the fertility expert is always must always have priority, and any information which you see on my video or even for that matter on any other video should only be for like awareness and educational purposes, and you must always consult your doctor, right? So the topic for today's discussion, like why have I chosen regarding that, because it is like an ever relevant topic, and I think it remains relevant all throughout, like till the time any child lives with their parents. But why it is even more so important when you have like a little child or a toddler child, because that is the foundation. That is when the child is learning about the world and people's dynamics. So if the foundation is strong, then they are able to uh, like navigate in this in this world or in the time to come. So to discuss this, I just want to take your attention for some time towards to the time when you had not become a parent, or you were just married for say an year or two, and you were living say away from your family, like you were living away from your parents. Um, so which many people do, by the way, these days. So why that is important? Because when you are married and you live away from your say immediate family or close family, the dynamics which you shared mostly become like roommates or friends, I can say. uh, like depending on your situation or what was the background of your relationship, whether you are coming from a love marriage or you're coming from an arranged marriage, especially if you are also from Indian origin, either living in India or abroad. So all those factors considered, but still, if you are just a couple living away from your hometown, most likely you're living as flatmates or roommates, so to speak. So, and it's not very uncommon to have, minor or major arguments with your spouse. It's very common, and that can happen over anything: food, uh, whether decision to go out or not, to meet someone or not, to watch a particular movies, many things. So, if you are a parent now, and you know your time from when you were just a couple. So now that you have a child, and that too like a toddler child who is um, able to understand a lot of things compared to say when your child was just an infant, say at the age of one and a half, or under the age of 2 years. So any sort of an issue between you and your partner or your spouse, it is very easy for them to pick that up. Um, Even if you forget about the child for a moment, let's say if you were a couple, if like you were staying somewhere, and you had some like close friends living also close by, and suppose you had an argument, and within a few, like within some time, you get like a friend land up at your door uninvited. So your friend would very easily pick up on like the environment in your home. If you just had like a fresh argument over anything, whether it was a minor argument or a major argument, they would easily pick up like something has happened between you and your spouse or your partner. And same goes for your parents. Like if if ever you had like any um, fight or a silly argument, and even if that was away from like your parents were not there at that time, but if they were to come like right away or like just soon after, they can very easily pick up that there was some tiff or some minor argument between you two, and the environment is a little tense, or it is not the usual environment. So same goes for your child, even if they are very young, between the ages of 3 to 5 or 3 to 6. I'm sorry. So they are also like able to pick that up, and this is even more possible or more true when you are living away from family, and there are only two people for the child's reference, like the dad or the mom, or and the mama or the papa, because day in day out the child will only watch you, and um, even if they go to the childcare, they by now they understand that that is like an outside world. Whichever or whoever the child meets there, they are not like they are not family. So the child is able to make distinctions, about many things. And suppose your usual way of greeting them when they come back from the childcare is always very lively, and you receive them with a very warm and a very big smile. But on, say, a particular day, whether you're tired or whether you had an argument with your uh, spouse uh, just a few minutes ago, or maybe just a couple of hours ago, and the situation at home is still tense, the child very easily picks up on that. Now, why it is important from a child's perspective? Because uh, as like whenever this kind of a situation arises, the child it affects the child's behavior and the child's mood. So maybe the child at that age, they have like a perfect image of the parents. So like they always consider that the parents are always loving and always understanding of each other, and if there's any uh, deviation from that, like they pick up on that, and it somehow affects their mood. And it is not just a matter of like one day or so. So it somehow they register their that memory in their mind. And since you are like a couple, so it is quite likely that you may have like a tiff or a small argument or a silly argument again, maybe in a few weeks time or in a few days time. And the child will be able to pick that up again very easily. So if it happens very gradually, then it is going to uh, I think leave some sort of a bad message in the child's mind, and you might see some uh, changes in their behavior. For example, the most common, which like I have seen in my case, is uh, the the attention seeking uh, behavior increases. So as a couple, you have to like make a pact with each other that even if there is any sort of a disagreement over anything, that that disagreement should not happen around the child, and it should not show to the child. That way the child can have like more trust on the parents, and any sort of deviation would not happen. They would not indulge in the attention seeking behavior, or they would not do something else. um, Fortunately, I've not seen in my case my child would try to alienate herself. But I have seen or heard about this thing, like some children, they, like if there was a major argument between, say, the husband or wife, then the child say tries to alienate themselves and like on in a separate room, and they might develop some sort of a fear or a phobia. So you understand what I'm trying to say is your dynamics severely affect the child. If you are always in a uh, good mood, or if you can always show that you are in a good mood and you have a good understanding with each other, at least in front of the child, and that will help your child and eventually you as a couple also, because the reason for the argument could be very silly or very temporary, but its effect on the child's psyche can be long lasting. So I don't think so, as a responsible parent, you would ever want that to happen with your child. And of course, if there are like any major issues between you and your spouse, uh, like seeking any sort of a professional help, or maybe in taking the guidance from your elders, is the wise step to do, rather than just like making your house or home as like a war zone. So yeah, with that, I wish to end this message. If you found any value in this, please leave a like. And if you think this video can help anyone, so please share it with your friend. So at this point, I will end this video. Thank you so much for watching and take care. Bye bye.